all the stress and tension that you are carrying. Breathing in deeply and slowly. And exhale, letting go. If you're particularly stressed today, then breathe out through your mouth, which will help you relax a bit more. As you breathe in, fill your lungs and your belly. Exhale and let go. Do this a few more times at your own pace. Let go of any clenching of tension in the muscles in your body. Especially check your shoulders, the neck, the back. Breathe into any tension in the body. And as you exhale, release all the physical tension that you have been holding consciously or unconsciously. Take a few deep breaths into any place of tension and stress in the body. And as you exhale, let go totally. Let your breathing come back to its natural rhythm. And as I name each part of the body, take your awareness there and simply unclench any tightness you are holding consciously or unconsciously. Let's begin by relaxing the eyes. Relaxing the face, the jaws, relaxing the neck and shoulders, relaxing the belly, Placing your hands on the center of the chest, relaxing the heart space. Rest in this beautiful touch for a few moments and know that anything feels heavy in the session, you can come back to this touch. Easing your mind, freeing your heart. Coming back home. Come back home. Leave the noise of the world behind. Leave the doing behind. Leave the fixing behind, the plans. Everything can wait. Stay in. Stay in. The pearl is right here. And you may place your hand down, keeping your eyes closed for a few moments. Let's begin with the first reflection. Please remember to stay with it, pause with it, and then when you feel like, please make notes. Sometimes people don't make notes and then they forget some very important reflections. So I advise you to make notes. Half the year has gone by and time is moving swiftly. Let us take a flashback into this year, but let us not look at this year that has gone by with the eyes of judgment or criticism or improvement. Please look at the year gone by with the eyes of beauty and appreciation. Let's go month by month, remembering any blessings, memorable moments, memorable experiences, and precious things you feel grateful to have experienced. What a great opportunity to pause and remember the good when our brains are constantly, sometimes, reminding us of what's not enough, what's incomplete, what's not right. Let's begin with January, things that you feel grateful for. Remembering the little things, the little moments, the little connections, the experiences, the learning. And as you are remembering this beautiful month, the first month of the year, allow yourself to also soak in any positive feelings that may come from your reflections. Don't only think them, but feel them too. Remembering a beautiful moonrise from January in Goa. Remembering all these beautiful moments in nature with friends, family, in all the spaces we inhabit. Moving into February, reflecting on the first quarter, Jan, Feb, March. Everything that you feel thankful for, ways you have grown, things you have witnessed, lovely food you have eaten, meals you have shared, all the moments that make life so meaningful. Savor them and linger in them. Were there unanswered prayers that turned out to be blessings? That turned out to be great openings for you? What were the most special moments that brought you joy, wholeness, integration? And remember to sing from your heart silently. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dhanyavad, to the cosmos, to life, to those who believe in God, to God. And remembering to the last 3 months, April, May, and June, all the precious moments from your life that you will really remember in the days you might spend on a rocking chair in front of a fire or relaxing in your study or at home. In your older days, these moments will bring a big smile on your face. As you're remembering the 6 months gone by, many themes will be surfacing along with the memories. Take a moment to write down the key themes of each month that are coming up for you in your journey of your life. So, for example, January for me was a lot about social connection, community coming together, families coming together. So, the theme for me was togetherness. So, please reflect on the key themes of your 6 months. Many times we don't have time to reflect, but when we look back, it's like a wow moment. Wow, I have experienced so much, done so much. And when I say themes, I'm looking at more how the outer world is reflecting in our inner world. So, for example, some of you might have had a month which was very testing at work. And maybe it was a month that helped you hone your leadership skills. When you're choosing the themes, imagine that this year is like a Netflix series, and each month is like a title of each episode. Or perhaps you could, if you love reading books, then think of each month as a chapter in the book of your life. What would you call that chapter? As you're looking back at these 6 months, I'm just flowing and going, so please continue. What were some key cycles? Like in astrology, they always look at what cycle you're going through. Like, for example, an inward cycle. Some of you might be showcasing more of your gifts in the world. So, what kind of larger themes have been coming up in your life at this juncture this year? What are the cycles operating? What are you learning? What is life showing you this year? Some of you might be experiencing your heart softening. That might be your cycle. Some of you might be actually finding yourself getting more strong and assertive. Some of you might be feeling very confident or building your confidence. Some of you might have had a very heartbreaking year. Maybe you had a bad breakup, and that's taking you home to your true self. As doors close, the doors to you open. What has this year been about? And what are you to learn from these cycles? What are some key insights you've had this year that you would like to take forward into your life that have been so meaningful to you? What parts of you came alive this year? Maybe the musician in you came alive and you found yourself playing more on your instrument. Maybe you started joking more. Maybe you became quieter and you were enjoying being inward. Maybe you became more fierce, more spicy, like I say, not so nice, but full of spice. Maybe you became more sexy and passionate. So what kind of sides came alive this year? What parts of yourself? And those parts of yourself you allowed to come out, nurture, celebrate. Did you suppress any parts of yourself in a way that was unhealthy? Did you have to pretend, mask, or hide? And are there those parts that were suppressed or repressed, wanting to come out and play a little bit, wanting to be witnessed? Maybe, for example, you became far too domesticated and you lost connection to your true self in some way. Or maybe you got so swamped and you became a workaholic and you forgot how to enjoy your life. So, what are some other parts of yourself that got hidden, suppressed, exiled? Were there any, of course, there were, all of us are going through a tough time on and off, aren't we? Challenges. And especially if we're on the path of growth and healing and light, then we'll definitely have more challenges because challenges can be very rewarding if we know how to approach them. So, what were some difficulties you faced this year? And did you manage to find the grace in them yet? And if you haven't, it's okay because sometimes we need to grieve enough before grace can arrive. So, reflecting on any difficulties and any blessings or learnings or keys when we have a growth and a learning mindset, then we can really make everything an opportunity. So, what were the gems in your difficulties if you were hurt enough or grieved enough? If we haven't allowed ourselves to move through the pain of it, then sometimes it gets very buried. We have so many psychologists on the call here. We bypass it with a nice, pretty intellectual explanation, but then it comes and bites us in the bum later. We don't want that happening. So, what were some difficulties and what's the grace in them? Is there any place in yourself that needs more compassion, empathy? Any place in your heart that needs forgiveness, that needs consolation, that needs the charity of your own heart and forgiveness? Is there anyone from your past in this year that requires the eyes of the compassion in your eyes, the charity of your heart, forgiveness? Is there anyone that needs your forgiveness, your heart to melt a bit? Not to forget and repeat a pattern or cycle, so that no bitterness lies in your heart. I was reading something the other day from Christian literature, and there's a Hebrew word called Mara. In Buddhism, it's often used as like some kind of spiritual obstacle that comes. And in Hebrew, it means bitterness. So let there be no bitterness in your heart. So you can be free. Of course, this doesn't mean you finish the call and then you go call up somebody who has ghosted you. Don't do anything silly like that, okay? Any insights you get, sit with them for 72 hours. Use discernment so you have clarity and you're not just emotionally reacting, okay? And sometimes when you think of people like this, they might just text you suddenly after call. It happens to some of us here, they tell me. So don't no impulsiveness. Sit with it before you and discern. Anyone you want to thank, people who have really walked besides you this year. Have you said thank you? Have you said I love you enough? Have you said that they mean the world to you? It could be people around you, your colleagues, for some of you who have parents, your spouse, your pets. Make a note to write some appreciative notes and letters to those who really held you in ways consciously or unconsciously. Maybe they've just sent you one meme every day, and that has made your day. Or maybe you get an annoying good morning message from them. But it means they've thought of you every morning. Have you said thank you enough? Is there anything left unsaid? What if you had to go in 3 weeks? This is one of my favorite questions. If you had to go in 3 weeks, like leave this world, unexpectedly something happens. Anika finds it funny. Would you approach your life in some different way right now? Approach your relationships, your life? We just don't know, right? You can just leave anytime. I'd have to burn all my diaries. So, is there anything unfinished business, unsaid words? Those who believe in rebirth, you don't want to just be reborn to tell someone you're sorry and go through a whole life. It's awful. Last few questions before we set some intentions forward. As we're going to move into inviting some things in our lives. Unfinished business. An unlived life is, you could say, a sin. It's a burden to carry. So please reflect. Any places in your life you're feeling like unlived, like you're not living, unfinished business. I have a friend who usually spends a couple of months in the mountains every year, and this year he didn't come because he just wanted to declutter his whole house. And for 3 months, all that's all he's been doing. But he's saying that it's helping him feel so light. What do you want to let go of? Sometimes we have all these productivity goals, and so many people feel like, oh, I need to do 3 posts every week on LinkedIn or Instagram. So, what are some goals that you set, or anything that you want to just shake off and let go? Habits, foods. I'm sure many of us will say, yeah, Anika's making fun of me. What happened? Any foods, any habits, any people? What do you want to let go of? And what do you want to invite in? Like, for example, you might want to let go of perfectionism, and you might want to let in peace or chill. You might want to, some of you might be feeling like you're giving too much advice to people. So you might want to let go of advice giving and instead inviting in the ability to listen deeply. The next 6 months were a big chapter in your life. What would you like to title it as? Here's where you set some intentions. What would you like to call it? The rest of the year, if it were like a big chapter in your life, what would the title of the chapter be? What are some key focus points, things that you would like to intentionally focus on for the rest of the year? For example, some of you might want to nurture more time in silence. Some of you might want to write more. We have so many writers on the call. Some of you might want to focus on caregiving for your parents. Are there any important intentions for the year that you want to just two or three that you want to write down so you don't forget. Intentions are like, it's like putting an end in a GPS. It's like, okay, I want to go from here to Paris. And the GPS can take you by many routes, but eventually you'll reach Paris. You can take the boat, you can take the plane, you can be on a motorcycle, but you'll reach. If we don't have an intention, sometimes we can just be aimlessly carried by the current until and unless we've reached a very high state in the spiritual path where we are really just being guided by life's currents, or you could say the currents of creator, or whatever you want to call it. But it's always good to have an intention so that you will reach your destination. And these intentions can be deeply spiritual as well. Like in Buddhism, we learn that the highest intention we can have is, may our life be of benefit to all other beings. And it helps because then when we get a bit distracted or consumed, then we remember our intention and we can come back quickly. Can we take a moment to tune into our bodies? And please note, the body is like the vessel of our deeper being, or for some of you, the word soul might resonate, or for some of us, consciousness. So tune into your body and really sense, what is it asking from you? What does it need from you for the rest of, or maybe the next few months? What does it want you to focus on? So as you tune into your body, notice the body is always speaking to us many messages. It's telling us that we need activity, or we need rest, or we need to not eat that piece of cake at 10 p.m. I can see some of you smiling big. So just tune in and notice. Because often when we don't listen, sometimes then the nudges get really strong. So let's avoid that. Please sense, what is your body asking? What does it need? What is it guiding you to? If there are any places in your body that have been struggling a bit with illness, tensions, listen to those parts of your body and ask it, my darling, what is it that you need from me? What can I do for you? How can I care for you? Often it is said that the greatest happiness comes when we can serve others. And I've often heard this from people who are also not, doing well. But when they serve others, they feel happy. Is there any way you would like to give back in some way? Share the generosity of your heart and spirit with those around you and the spaces you inhabit. Maybe it is sharing a poem that you wrote. Maybe some of you really enjoy taking care of animals. Reflect for a few moments on, am I benefiting the spaces I inhabit? Not only of how I benefit, but am I benefiting the spaces I inhabit? Is there any way I can share my gifts, goodness that I already have with others? And of course, those of you who are going through compassion fatigue because you've given so much, then ignore this question and please fill your cup. We can only give when we are, our cup is full. It can be a small little, when we were in school, we had this what, Girl Scouts. They said one good deed a day. One good deed a day. Could be feeding the sparrows, although some of my animal friends will say it's not such a good deed to feed them. Is all I'm asking is your heart flowing? Is the love from your heart being shared and flowing? Take a few moments to just reflect on anyone you need to visit this year. Any family members you haven't seen in a really long time. Any elderly people who are close to their end of this life. Sometimes we kind of keep postponing some of these visits, so that's why I'm asking. I do it too. But it's important to remember. Then it's too late. Now, this is a fun question. Now, most of us who are here are the deep thinkers or the healers or those who are investing in transformation and thinking deeply. Are you having enough fun? Has life become too serious? We're all at the risk of that. What were you say?
I said I could always have more fun.
Yeah, more fun. Are you having enough fun? Are you making enough mischief? Are you also having time for leisure? It could be anything like playing golf or just sitting around and staring and doing nothing. That's my idea of leisure. Another very important question. Now, most of us pay great attention to Lou Coutinho videos and who's the other one? Rujuta. Food and what we eat and, our schedules, timing. But often we forget that to nurture our state of mind, one of the most important things is the state of mind. What are you doing to become aware of your state of mind, taking care of your mind? What are you feeding your mind? What's your care for your mind? Are you feeding it with a song of birds, melodies, of beautiful music, or are you feeding it with tragic doom scrolling, which was made by someone on a toilet seat? So, what are you doing with your mind? Where do you need to surrender more? Where have you been efforting so much that nothing's clicking and you just have to surrender? We've all been through some kind of moments like that. We just surrender. And where has our surrender become like a resignation and zero effort, where we need to put in a little bit more effort? Is there any place we need to invite more? As Carl Rogers, the famous client center psychologist, said, congruence. The latest word is authenticity. Used, abused, misinterpreted word. But where do we need to invite more, congruence, which is like living in alignment with your values, with your intentions, how you spend your time, how you are with people? And where have you become so vulnerable that you need to learn how to pretend a little bit? Vulnerability is not safe in many places. So sometimes the teachings of authenticity can make us forget this. Where am I off alignment in how I'm living my life, conducting myself, spending my day, taking care of my health, wealth, spiritual life, social life? What beliefs am I inhabiting that really need to be transformed? Beliefs about myself and beliefs about others that are not true. Where am I holding tightly to some beliefs? So, a belief about self could be I'm not good enough. Maybe you have a stereotypical, like you might be living with someone and you've already kind of, maybe they're your spouse and you've spent 30 years of your life, or 40 years, or 20 years, and you've already put them in a category in your mind and you've forgotten to look at them with the eyes of curiosity and freshness. You think you know them, but you don't. So, what are the beliefs that need transformation in yourself? And then also how you see others. Are there any prejudices? Some of us can also inhabit those prejudices. What are some wishes you would like to fulfill this year? Any treats you want to give yourself? Maybe you want to go and see a place or see an animal. Or maybe if you're like me, you just want to perfect the art of going nowhere. What are some gifts, needs that you'd really like to honor? Maybe some of you might just want to paint or do a 1,000 piece puzzle. Last few minutes, let's go a little bit deeper. Maybe close your eyes for this one. I'll give you another minute to write. Some of you are still writing, so please take another minute or two to write. Gift to self. Okay, last few questions. And you may close your eyes so you can tune in a bit deeper. What important qualities I would like to nurture in myself? For example, compassion, love, humor, wildness, creativity. What are some qualities I would like to nurture in myself or cultivate? What are some habit energies I need to transform? Habit energies are like habit of the mind, habit of behavior that are just cyclical patterns that keep repeating that need transformation. Like self defeating thoughts can be a habit energy, catastrophic thoughts can be a habit energy, thinking the worst out of something. Critical mind, being critical of others. Where in your life you need to invite in more patience, more faith, more love, more harmony. The very pillars the world is missing: patience, harmony, love, tenderness, faith. And as we come to a close, sense your spiritual heart. You could say it's the center of your chest somewhere. And ask your heart to reveal what it needs, or to reveal, bring to awareness what needs attention. And as you feel the center of your chest, tune into the message your heart has for you as you've been listening so deeply. What does your heart reveal to you? And take a moment to notice, allow a symbol to come into your mind that will, you won't know its meaning just yet, and don't ask ChatGPT or Google. But it's like the way your psyche is speaking to you. So keeping your eyes closed, simply notice if there's any symbol that speaks to you. And make a note of what the symbol is. It could be a symbol, it could be a picture, it could be an image. And as homework, you can sit with this image to see what it really means to you. And this is a way we can tap into what's like a subconscious, a deeper movement in our subconscious, a deeper message from the deeper mind. As we prepare to close, let's have a minute of silence. We'll end in just 2-3 minutes. A minute of silence. If there's anything more that is alive in you that needs to be written, please do so. Anything more that is coming to be known. In this sweet silence. Any message you want to write for yourself so that you remember. There is a quote, often it is said, referred to by Leonardo da Vinci, but when I looked it up recently, it suspects maybe somebody in aviation. But I love this quote. So, one of my favorite ones: once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned upwards. For it is there you have been, and there you will long to return. And I hope this session was meaningful for you, so that you have tasted in your life where you need to be, and you will always remember to come back home whenever you get lost and astray. Recently, we went for this very beautiful movie What was it? Main Vapas Aunga. Oh my gosh, really epic. Please go watch it. Take lots of tissues and a towel. We cried a lot. And I was reading an article, and Mahesh Bhatt says, please listen to this beautiful line from this article. In such a climate that we live in, a film that pauses to listen to the deeper movements of the human spirit is almost an act of rebellion. And here we have taken out this time to look at the deeper movements of spirit. And I hope you can see how amazing and rich the undercurrents are, the inner life, what's running through all the external activity. And as Pico Iyer, one of my favorite or travel authors, says, when you're traveling and you're journeying, always take 2 hours a day in silence, even if you're traveling and you're sightseeing, so that you can see what is coming alive in your inner journey. And it's wonderful that we could all sit together like this. And I feel so sorry that I didn't know that we had 100 limit. But of course, the next time we'll have it upgrade. We'll have our Zoom account upgraded. However, it was wonderful and so precious just to see how many of us want to bring more consciousness into our lives, want to bring more alignment, more music, more magic. Trudy is here. She sent me a message saying, I want to bring more magic. And I hope this brings you home wherever your home is for you. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a blessed rest of the year and a beautiful night. And it was really wonderful for me as well. I was journaling, and I found it quite surprising actually, because I journal every other day. But the stuff that I wrote today was quite unique. It made me so happy to see so many faces. I couldn't say hi to you individually, but know that my heart was very excited to see you. And please come whenever. I like to do these gift sessions whenever I have space. And maybe someone can share the WhatsApp link here of our. I have this one big WhatsApp group. No spamming happens. No promotions happen. Only when there are meaningful sessions by me or friends, we share or meaningful quote. So you may join it if you are not already on it. So thank you. Lots of love. See you and have a blessed, rich rest of the year. Ciao. Oh, yes. And last thing is sit with this information over the weekend. You can set it aside, but sit for an hour over the weekend and just pour over it so that you can really extract the juice from what you have written. Bye. See you. Ciao, ciao.